bankruptcy, and I went from having everything to, yeah, basically everything being taken away from me, not being able to afford food and rent, and living in the basement of an MMA gym, training and fighting every day. And the thing about that is, that's fun, but it's not fun when you can't afford rent,
Right.
can't afford food, and you're stuck over the other side of the world on your own, which I was.
Right.
And the reason I'm telling this is because 2008 is very similar to what's going on now. And the thing behind that is, I watched my 5 Series BMW being taken away, and I was like, damn.
Shit.
Yeah, it's like, now what? I was like the top in the country, but I was broke. No real estate, and everything was trashed. But it was there that I went, okay, do you know what? Let's get it together. It's now what, right? Now what? And then my intuition kicked in, long story, but that's where I moved from New Zealand to LA. And that's where I started working with professional fighters, took me into entrepreneurs. That's where I worked with Hollywood's people. That's where I got royalty. That was where it all came from. And my point is, we haven't got a clue what's going to happen next.
Right.
But no clue. But I went in full steam ahead, unapologetically, just driving forwards, not to be away from where I was. That was part of it, but the opposite driver, to be as fast as I can in a different type of life.
Right.
And that's the same thing with everyone right now, right? Now what?
If you're a real estate agent right now, and like I have so many goals, and like, for example, I've had these cards I've wanted to write on my desk for 2 weeks to people, to clients. And I care about them. They're going to be sincere cards. They're not like marketing or anything, but I haven't done it. And there's things like, I want a door knock. I haven't done it. I want a cold call. I haven't done it. Like, what finally pushes you over to do that? Like because they say, find your biggest why, you know, but I don't know. My kids are obviously my biggest why, but it's almost like I like to torture myself in the procrastination of getting it done. So
yeah, cool.
Do you have any pills or anything I can take?
I can tell you why you're doing it, but let's start there, right?
Yeah.
Because guess what? If you don't do it, then you can't fail.
Oh shit.
Can't get rejected.
Yeah.
Right? That's it.
Right.
You keep a little fantasy in your head of what potential might be, which keeps you feeling safe. Because if you can go back to this idea, oh, I'm going to send these cards out, these will give me clients, this is going to be a great thing. But what happens if they don't respond? What happens if it doesn't work? Then your little thing in your head that you're connecting or linking to, that safety, isn't there anymore. So that then, guess what that can create? Well, it's amygdala activation, the fight or flight response when we step into the unknown. But then guess what? It's happening. The anxiety can come because it's unknown. So if we keep that fake little thing that we can pretend is real, that we can focus on, then guess what? We're safe, right? Make sense?
Yeah. Also, you're controlling it.
Oh, 100% control. Yes. Well, so, that's the other side of it, Stamie. It's. I love it that you brought that up. That's the other side of it, because there's a certain twisted darkness to humans' brains that searches for comfort. And it doesn't matter if that certainty or comfort is absolutely self-destructive. Doesn't matter. There's a warmth to it. There's a familiarity to it, right? And that feels part of our brain. It fulfills safety or certainty, right? That's where the sabotage comes in.
So how do you tell your brain to fuck off?
Well, guess what? Well, you literally can tell it to fuck off, right? That is an actual technique by the co-creator of NLP. I did a whole
Oh, really?
Yeah. He goes, his technique is in one of the books I've got. If your brain keeps repeating things you don't want it to, this is my real technical tactic. Tell it to shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, right? So that's okay. But there is actually ways we can tune the memories down and play with colors and images, and that's a whole different thing. But understand what's happening in your brain. The images that you are looping or playing around aren't big enough, strong enough, or the ones that you want. So what's happening in your brain, I could already tell without asking you, the images that are popping up in your brain when you go to think about sending those cards, well, your brain stops there, right? If we forward the movie in our head and got used to the feeling and the image of them responding to you and getting clients and helping them and it feeling amazing and you lighting somebody's world up, right?
Right.
You see the difference? Now we've connected the right memory
right
to the sequence. So now if you saw them, if you could, after this, every single card that you sent out, if you could get them on a call or go and see them eye to eye and see how happy they were, how fast are you putting out those cards?
It's funny because part of me is like, oh, they're gonna think I licked the envelope. Oh, they're gonna,
You could write on it, I didn't lick the
I'm
envelope.
gonna do it. Hashtag, yeah. They're gonna, yeah. I mean, you're right. You put the wrong thoughts into your head about it. It won't matter. It's just a card. They're not gonna give a shit.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess when you do start with that.
But this is all conscious. This is the thing. I know, I can see what's going on because this is 18 years of just anybody. I can read patterns and tweak it to anything. I've helped clients, and it's the same thing. I've helped clients literally go from, they were in 100 grand a month. They went to $75 million that year. I didn't teach them one business tactic, not one, because they were already successful. I didn't need to teach them a single thing about business. So what was the difference?
Brain.
How this is tuned, how they can control their mind, emotions, what's programmed in their brain. That's it. And when I retrained this, then suddenly he was able to create this office and team, and the launch within the same year, 75 million.
Wow.
And think about that, right? Same with real estate. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of real estate people. And it's never about, they've already got the skills, they've already got the techniques, they already know what to do, right? It's just getting the noise out their head and then taking it to the gym, literally in their brain, and pumping the muscles that we want. Because it's like, look at it a different way, right? You've got a world's strongest man, and you've got Usain Bolt, sprinter, right? Two humans, two world-class athletes. But their muscles have been designed to respond such a different way. One's explosive, fast twitch. The other one is like heavy and sustaining that strength. Mm-hmm. Both human, both world-class. But the muscles have been trained to do different things. Now, did they have natural abilities? Yes, of course. But we're just talking about the muscles have been trained to do two different things, two different results. That's the same with sales. I know because I know, right? I saw 2,000 people face-to-face in New Zealand and Australia. Face-to-face, back-to-back. We used to do 5 a day. Pop, 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 pop. And I got good quick. Why? Because we were taught such militant sales that it's probably illegal now, but I mean it. If we didn't close a deal, we weren't allowed to have a drink or a food or a biscuit or anything, and you were back out the door.
Not the biscuits.
Nothing.
Cruel and unusual punishment,
man. Nothing. And then that's how we were taught sales. So,
but I think that's better.
Well, guess what it made you do?
Sell something.
Fucking quick. Yeah. Because I was closing and then you could go and chill.
Right. I mean, because a lot of realtors, whoever's listening to this getting into real estate, they think it's easy and it's a people to people business, and it looks easy and people make it look easy, and then people post about how great they are and like win multiples, and they
Right.
sell. But, you know, there's a lot of times where you're like in a fetal position, you know, you're kind of like questioning your existence. Why'd I pick this career? I can't believe my friend didn't use me. My pipeline, you know, the word pipeline or your CRM, and you have all these words where you're like, oh yeah, I've heard about all those, but I haven't really done it. And this is what you're talking about. It's because I guess we're keeping some control in our hand and also avoiding rejection.
Yeah, we're avoiding rejection. We're also, if the fantasy doesn't happen or the dream doesn't happen because we haven't done it, then at least we've got that to think about, right? It's the same with why I go back to Liverpool to visit my old school friends and stuff. And people talk about, oh, I'd love to go there. I'd love to do this. I'd love to have that job. I'd love to do that. Well, go and do it, dumbass.
Right.
It's like, what's your point? I ain't special. I come from the most like working class ghetto-y place in Liverpool you can be. It's like, there's no excuses. It's either, it's just, what do you want? If you want it so much, or want your life to be a certain way, and that could be like, and this is the other thing, Stamie, it's like,
just real quick, Andy's the only one allowed to call me Stamie. That's our nickname.
I say so many people's names all messed up.
It's totally fine.
My accent. I get away with it. I've also got dyslexia too, so it goes a bit nuts when I read stuff. But
you're a full package. You're full
package is something. But it's I can't remember what we were talking about, but it was awesome.
You know what? I can't either.
It was just awesome.
It was really awesome. So here, I'm going to play something else for you. I'm going to give you some examples. Okay.
Okay.
I have a drawer full of chocolates. Okay. I know I shouldn't have them, but it's COVID and you never know when you really need chocolate. So it's late at night and I want a piece of chocolate. And then my brain goes, no, you shouldn't have chocolate. Then my other part of my brain goes, but just one piece isn't going to hurt you. And then, you know, by the end of it, I have 5 pieces. How do you not do that? Go to sleep early or?
Well, first of all, where's the chocolate? Is
really
it in the
close.
Bedside cabinet.
It's in a drawer that I could easily access.
Okay, so how's about we rewind it a little bit and don't buy the chocolate as much?
But I'm stuck at home, Andy. I eat chocolate when I'm home.
How's that working out?
Not good.
No, so we don't buy the chocolate.
Okay.
But it's step 1.
Don't buy it.
Step 2 is it's at that moment, understand what your brain's doing, right?
Dopamine?
It's trying to get dopamine, yes. It's trying to get chemicals. Why? Because we either feel bored or we're trying to escape, right? 2 things. Or we feel sad. So we're trying to get those chemicals. So we understand that. As long as we understand that, then that's the truth. So when we're about to eat a chocolate, now no one's saying you shouldn't, but as soon as we know what's going to happen, because we get sugar. Woo, so sugar's going to make me go, give me some more sugar, right? So we know it's going to happen. So it's a case of just before you do it. It's the same with any addictive behavior. Any addictive behavior could be alcohol, could be drugs, could be just doing, it could be training, could be going to the gym. It's the same thing. It's an addictive behavior. What happens is it's like a horse with blinkers on. All we can see is directly what is in front of us. That is the thing that is going to make me feel a certain way and take me out of this state or put me into an altered state, okay? So when we're in that, that's how someone does a shot, or that's how someone will do whatever it is in front of them. What we've got to learn to do in that moment is listen to 2 little voices in our head, right? One's going to tell you, eat the chocolate.
Right.
The other one's going to go, don't eat the chocolate. Do something else. But we listen to the big loud voice. What we've got to learn to do is forward the movie in our brain to the consequence. So, okay, you eat that chocolate. That's cool. Forward the movie another 5 hours. How are you feeling about yourself? Because you know you're going to eat 5 pieces of chocolate.
Well, you kind of feel like shit.
Right. Every single time. Every single, does the movie ever end another way?
With a happy ending? Only when it's like One Piece.
Happy beginning.
But today it's funny because my girlfriend saw me put the big bag in the drawer because we're gonna do Greek Easter on Sunday, and she goes, "Why? I gotta hide this." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "Because you're gonna eat it all." And I go, "That is so rude." I go, "That bag is huge." I'm because she has no sugar craving, like she doesn't, she's a farmer. So
Right.
she goes, "Fine. I'm gonna leave it here." I go, "You don't have to hide it." Or she goes, "Well, take some and I'll put the rest away." I go, "You don't have to hide it. I can control myself." She goes, "Can you?" Okay, great. Let's see what happens by the time Sunday rolls around. And then part of me is like, I can do it. And then other part of me is like, is that a challenge?
I'm going to eat them all. So you got nothing in the bag.
So it's like your brain is really exhausting. Like
constantly. And it doesn't stop. And this is the thing that people need to understand about how the brain works and performance and anything. It works just like pumping a muscle on the outside of your body. Doesn't matter if you trained your ass off for 6 months. Don't train for 6 weeks. You don't look like that anymore. It's the same with you just don't do it. It's the same with the brain. It's a daily thing. It's a moment to moment thing. It's catching, it's learning to interrupt these patterns.
Right.
Work out or start to notice what we're feeling when we're about to do things. We're about to pick that phone up. When we come home from the evening, from work or whatever it is, that moment, guess what? You're tired. So you're tired. Your brain needs glucose. It needs sugar. It needs fuel. So it starts to crave for these things. So when we start to understand this, then we can start to preempt stuff, right? Preemption with the chocolate.
Right.
Don't buy a massive monster bag.
I don't usually buy a monster bag. She did. See, that's the difference.
Okay.
I know my limitations. But no, that makes a lot. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And then when you do something, like if I didn't have the chocolate, then I'd get a bigger dose of dopamine because I'd be like, see, you can do it. Like when I made 2 cold calls this year. And after I was like on a high for like, I called more about voicemail, but like, let's be honest, I didn't get anyone on the phone. Okay. But the dopamine of actually doing it after talking about it for so long.
I remember you messaging me. I called someone. Well done. Did you get a deal yet?
Right. Yeah. So so all this stuff to me is very, very fascinating, and it's never. I mean, it really does help you in the long run, especially if you're an entrepreneur. Or, you have your own business. And
you just have to look at it like that, Stamie. Look at what Olympic athletes do, and there's no difference. And this is the thing: there is no difference to what an Olympic athlete goes through to what an entrepreneur goes through. An Olympic athlete gets sick, they get tired, they fall over, they lose races, right? They have mentors, they have coaches, they have teams, they're driving towards gold. What's the difference between an entrepreneur? Nothing, right? We're still after the goal, right? Every day we get ups and downs and highs and lows. We're on this chemical thing. We doubt ourselves. And every time we go for a sale or whatever it is, that's like the athlete going for its race day, right? Except for with sales, it's constant. It's a constant thing. So what we have to get so used to is this is why I hate pump-up seminars, right? Because everyone goes pumped up. The neural nets or the muscle is light. It's been built so you feel different, right? You've been pumping all the chemicals for 2-3 days, and then you're on a high, and then you come out of the seminar and you have changed. Literally, you have changed. But then what? Right? Oh, the world doesn't give a fuck, and it basically treats you as you were. And it puts you right back into where you were before, because the old way of being is big, thick, strong, and easy to do. So the world just pokes and prods you and puts you back to where you were. And then the problem with this is then you beat yourself up, because where you were going seems such a far further away distance. And then you go, oh, I can't do it. And then da-da-da-da. But the point is, once you're pumped up after that seminar, it's about them building, like with the gym instructor, right? With
Right.
the mind instructor. It's about building that. That's how you grow the business, grow everything. That's how you move from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 plus figures. It's the same thing, man.
And then if you have children and one of your children is a farmer and the other one is not, is the warrior gene.
Warrior.
How do you teach them both about who they are? Like, how do you calm down the dopamine junkie? And then, because the dopamine junkie knows how to push my buttons, and then we end up buying like a really expensive pair of sneakers, like, because I'm like, yeah, they're awesome, which I just did last week, so is there any like advice to anyone who's a parent listening, and if they have kids that have these signs of their makeup?
You're screwed. You're gonna buy behind sneakers forever, and they're gonna get more expensive.
No, this last one is really. I said, "Oh man, this one's a bad one," and my girlfriend's like, "You just opened Pandora's box," because they're like Nikes and they're off-whites. I mean, it was just not a. But he's like, "I'll pay half. I will learn Greek. I will." Like, he knows all the keywords to get me to, I will do anything you want me to do. I'll even sell like this so I can put money towards it. He's like always, and I'm trying to teach him how to be more creative like that. But then my daughter's like, how much is that? Can you just buy it for me? Like, she's much more like with her money, she thinks through it. And Nico kind of just like, but anyway, it's interesting to see their natural being.
Such different people, right? And it's with that, it's what I always say, it's about building on people's strengths, not trying to reinforce or really put too much work into their weaknesses. And that sounds controversial, but it's I don't really care. But it's the thing is, I know when I was at school was, I hated school every single day. You could have taken me out at 9 years old and I'd have just had the best life, right? I hated school every single day.
About your friends? Did you like your friends?
I saw them outside.
Oh, okay.
I was more interested in fighting martial arts. That was all I was waiting for every single day.
Wow.
7 days a week was to train. That's all I cared about. I didn't care a damn about school. And it was a war zone. It was just like being in a prison. It was a war zone, man. There was fights and riots constantly all day. It was nuts. But
that's some school.
Oh man, like 40 people to a class and everyone just fighting in there. It was nuts.
Oh my God.
But it was crazy. But maths, for example, right? I was math, that's for you Americans, but maths for the English.
I thought you were talking about church, but go on.
No, not math. I've never been good. My brain just didn't compute that way. And I really, really tried hard. And I remember taking maths and I failed. And I went and got private lessons for 3 months. And I studied, and I studied hard for that exam. I went in again and failed. And so what's my point? I'll find somebody else who's really loves maths, who's good at maths, and get them to do my maths. So what I'm good at was other things. So I went and did that. Or went and learned about, that's the point. So with your kids, it's about learning their strengths and then double down on their strengths, and them having the perspective of everybody else's world. Right. But, because otherwise what? Would you want to keep beating somebody down because they're not good at something?
What's interesting, that kind of is parenthood, though. I mean, people would focus on what their kids aren't good at and be like, why can't you be like Ricky? Why can't you be better at, why can't your grades be better? And they're like, I can't stand it. Like, I can't stand school, like you, for example. But before I let you go, because this has been really fascinating, I could talk to you for hours. What about relationships in COVID? What's your advice with relationships?
Be single? No, I'm joking. Get another one. Get a few in.
Because a lot of people are like with their partner more than they have been in a very long time because they're not going to their office. All our routines are thrown off. So this is like a whole new world where everyone's like, how many dishes do I have to wash? Like there's you got to eat again? Like so what should a couple do that's kind of bored together at home or is questioning, or having fun, whatever? What is your advice? What are you guys doing?
Well, for me, it makes no difference. We're around each other 24 hours a day, working from the same house,
Oh my
doing
God.
similar jobs. So it's like literally,
Right.
it's like for me, it's no, oh, I can't go to the beach. That's
Right.
about the only difference, right? We go for bike rides, it's the same thing. But so we're used to like, getting annoying each other. So that's the fine thing. But for everybody else, you understand just because you're in the same house doesn't mean you have to be in each other's brains. So you have the ability to take time for yourself whenever you want it. That includes headphones, right? You have the ability to put whatever you want in your ears and in front of your eyes anytime you want it. You can still regulate your schedule to how you want it. And that's how it should be. Kids running around and stuff, okay. So guess what? It's alternative schedules. So really, it's like you actually do nothing all day and just hanging out, and that's all. Then okay, then maybe that's what you've got to do. If that's the case, then it's about communication, and it's about communication of understanding. It's like, how can we interact? How can we everybody on the same page, focused on the future thing? And so whether that's like, well, it's like if it's a certain bucket list of games or bucket list of movies or bucket list of what would you like to do when this is over? Where would you like to travel around the world? Well, it's just keeping everybody doing like together in a group, focusing on moving forwards or focusing on having fun here and getting everyone involved. Then it starts to, everyone feels a part of everything. Business-wise, there's no excuse. There's no excuse, right? Because if you have to get up earlier, if you have to do middle of the day, if you've got a partner who can take time, like go wait for the kids, then it's about scheduling hours of time or blocks of time that you can then go into flow with and really kick ass. Because if you know you've got 3 hours to do something, you've got a lot of things to do, there's going to be no downtime. It's going to be tick, 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 tick. And that means then you'll probably find you do something called, what I call folding time. So it'll take someone else 2 days, you'll get done in like half a day, because you have to. It's Parkinson's law is really what it is, So for everyone listening, schedules, times, right? Understand that you can put anything in your ears and your eyes whenever you want it. It's your choice. Also, schedule alone time. If that is 10 minutes after your partner's gone to bed or half an hour and you just have compression time, that's good. They probably need it too while they're lying in bed, right? So that's the way we deal with this. Like for me and Steph, we're always around each other. So it's a case of, this is what we've had to learn always. So to me, it's no difference, but otherwise you kill each other.
And then when you guys get into an argument, do you ever say to each other, don't try to coach me right now?
Oh, I say it to her.
Don't NLP me right now.
I say it to her.
Really?
Especially when she's been back-to-back clients all day.
Oh my God, that's really funny. Do you ever do a session just for fun? No, not foreplay or anything?
No, she's probably sick of me. But she's probably sick of listening to me already.
I don't believe that. I'm going to ask her that question. But we're Andy, thank you so much for being a part of this and being, episode number 1 of my real estate podcast. But I want to just say thank you and I heart you. And where can people follow you and listen to you? All the good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to Mindset by Design, which is the podcast. We've been going for over 5 years. It's done way over 1.5 million downloads. I had a lot of world-class guests on, so that's a cool place. Everybody should really also head over to andymurphy.biz, because what I've got is an awesome ebook I created there. It's called Rewire and Upgrade, and it's basically my 8 levels to supercharge your brain. So everyone should jump on that too. And there's loads of other stuff in there.
And your Facebook.
On Facebook, Facebook and the incubator group. So it's Mindset by Design, which is the podcast, Mindset by Design Incubator Group.
And that's really great, guys. So you should definitely listen to that. And I hope you guys stay COVID cool and keep working on your business and go for a walk outside wearing a mask and gloves and all that shit we have to do. And have a great week ahead. All right. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.